How's it going, team? This is That Logic Pro Guy, and today we're talking about the magic of tape delay. I find this to be very underutilized. I haven't really seen a lot of videos on the topic, and so I wanted to just share how much I love tape delay. And to be 100% clear, I think we should look at what a vintage tape echo unit actually entails. It says here, tape echoes work by recording sound on a magnetic tape, which is then played back. The tape speed and distance between the recording and playback heads determine the delay time, while a feedback variable where the delayed sound is fed back into the input allows for multiple echoes. Probably the most famous one is the Echoplex, but there are just a ton of these units, and I'm sure you've seen them. Studer, Ampex, so on and so forth. If you want your track to sound a little bit healthier, a little bit warmer, do me a favor and take a screenshot of these settings here. Let me play you this tune that I've made for you. This is before. So this is the most basic way that I love using a tape delay. I use it on the stereo bus. I use it for group processing, and it's just a perfect way to kind of get started with tape delay. Now, I'd like to explain what's actually happening with tape delay. I feel like a lot of people don't really understand it. There's other parameters that you can use in tandem. On the screen, you're looking at an oscillator. There's a tape delay on the left-hand side, and I'm just playing a sine wave at 261 hertz. So that sounds like this. Okay, so there's no need to play it out, but that's what we're looking at. If I turn on the tape delay unit, obviously there's an added amplitude, but the LFO rate is set to about 40 hertz, and the LFO intensity looks like this. Go ahead and take a look at the oscillator, and you can see that there's this pitch kind of moving up and down. So that's what the modulation section is going to do, and that's going to sound like this. Just using a little bit sounds absolutely incredible. Flutter rate looks a little bit different. This is something that a tape echo unit will do. It has these irregularities of sound, and so you can see kind of things are moving up and down. Let me go ahead and play you what that sounds like. Okay, so now that you have a sense of what's happening, let me show you how great and how wonderful this sound really is. Here I've got this guitar sound, and we're going to use this as a kind of vibrato pitch thing. And let me just play you this in solo. So right now I have no feedback, meaning I have no echo being sent out and then back into the tape echo unit. I'm just using the modulation, and that's how we're going to use it. This is before. So just that little bit there is going to add so much character to this track. Check it out. The secret in tape delay really happens when you start to use the feedback component. So I'll give you an example. Here I have just some super basic chords. Check them out. but in my opinion, they can sound so much better. There's just so much more you can do. And so instead of running this on the insert on the channel strip, just like I did with the acoustic guitar here, I am going to run it on a bus. So we'll send this over and let's look at the settings here. We're going to use this unit as a rhythmic delay. We have a quarter note playing, we're sending it, getting some character. The amount of repetitions is 50%. I'll take down the modulation and the flutter for now, and let's check this out. When I bring down the clip threshold, you can hear that the delay has all sorts of great grainy distortion. So if you want to change the character of the delay, you can do that here. Again, increasing the feedback is going to send the echo out and then back into the unit. Let's add some modulation now. So much fun to be had. It's just amazing how much dimension you can get out of a plugin like this. Let's go ahead and add some flutter. All right, and my favorite thing to do is to add a quarter note on one side and then either an eighth note or a dotted or something like that. So what I'm going to do on the same track is I'm going to take the tape delay and use it in dual mono. This is going to give us two instances, one on the left and one on the right. On the right side, we will not use the LFO intensity, we'll use the flutter. On the right side, we will also utilize eighth notes. Let's see what this sounds like. Okay, here I am changing the filter on the delay. And so this is going to sound really amazing on this track. Here's before. Man, there's so much more I want to share, but this video is already too long. I might condense this and send this over to my new online school if you would like to check that out. You would be an early adopter and you would be supporting my work. And so I've got classes on Logic Pro, I've got classes on mixing and mastering. In fact, I have an entire curriculum that I'm developing. So if you choose to support me, this will be supporting my work, my efforts, and in turn, I will be providing you with world-class information week in and week out. There's so much to cover. You can use this as a flanger effect. We can use this for ambient music as well. I think the last thing I'll show you here is how to use it as a tape echo or as a slapback echo. Let me go ahead and do that now. So we'll remove it from the bus and let's go ahead and instantiate it. A tape echo is characterized by 75 to 200 milliseconds, sending that echo out and then back into the unit. So let's go ahead and play this out and then we'll start to increase the feedback. So that's amazing. I was able to change the character of the delay, and then I was able to move it over to one side, change the filter quality, add modulation, alter the dry and wet signal. It's absolutely incredible. Anyhow, I'm going to create a full video where I will be displaying the rest of the things that you could do with this thing. There's more ways to use it on vibrato guitar. There's a couple of other rhythmic delay things that I didn't show you. We can use this as musically timed delay, and then one of my favorites as a flanger as well. Anyhow, I'm going to get out of here. Please check the links in the description. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It absolutely means the world to me. I've been doing my best to bring you the best content. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. If you look at my channel, I was the first guy to really work on, teaching people about Logic Pro file paths. I was really the first one to really talk about control surfaces at length. I want to take chances. I want this to be risky. I'm playing big here. So thank you guys so much for supporting my work. I will continue to bring you the best content. Again, on my online school, I've got courses on learning live loops. If you don't know that section of Logic Pro, you really should. It is definitely next level, and it's a creative wheelhouse. I've got courses on compression, which is second to none. For the very first time, I have my entire 10-part series available on a subscription basis, and I made the price very fair for all early adopters. These are courses you cannot find anywhere else. I have 5 of those courses for free on the channel. If you cannot afford the online school, I completely respect that. So you can get 5 of those courses for free. But for the rest of you that want to add your love, your support, your care, I thank you. All right, this is that Logic Pro guy. God bless you.